What's up, everybody? Last night, you may remember, I posted on the Facebook page, people were like, what's this about? What are you talking about? I don't see any problem here. The video of the MADC race, first race yesterday at the Meadowlands, I said, just watch this. Now, I let everybody talk, and this time I stayed out of it. Make your assumptions, form your opinions as to what you saw. Now I can tell you what I saw, and read you an email that the members of the MADC, specifically Joe Lee, doesn't know I have my hands on. The MADC, I think, at its core is innocent and is a good idea to a certain extent. What happened last night was you have the Meadowlands Racetrack, which is supposed to be our marquee track of harness racing, the Mecca. We all know its history, and now we know what's going on there now. If you allow people to treat it like a playground, you're going to have people acting like children on the racetrack. First, you got a guy, and again, racing is one thing, but acting like children on the track, acting unprofessionally, with no respect for the horses, the betting public, and the Meadowlands is unacceptable, but it continues to happen. You also have individuals who are not licensed as racing officials who have their hands in how these races, which are betting events, how these races are drawn, put together, seeded. I don't understand how that's possible. I always thought that there should just be, that track and the race secretary alone is handed, here's the entries, here's our drivers, write the races. That's not so true with the MADC still. But anyway, you all saw what happened if you watched the race. 71 shot, popped the deuce, couldn't back into the hole, ends up running down the favorite, and should he have let him get? Doesn't matter. That's racing. But you see the jawing down the backstretch. That's one thing. But down the lane, now they're acting like jackwagons, yelling at each other. By the time they hit the wire, they're 10 lengths apart. The one guy's got his hand, the handholds in one hand, and he's physically making hand gestures to the guy behind him, like, I see, I beat you, the old unwritten rule, beat the guy you park, whatever it was. Ridiculous. So I posted it on the group last night. You all said what you had to say, and that's fine. It's horse racing. But apparently, not everybody was happy. I guess I'm hoping that Jason Settlemore did what he's supposed to do and say, this isn't going to happen here anymore. But as luck would have it, I still have some friends in the MADC who are so pissed off, they sent me the email that Joe Lee sent to that entire organization, membership, whatever you call it. Everyone that's attached to it. So now listen to this. Hello all. Billie Jean King once said, quotes, "Sportsmanship for me is when you treat people with dignity even when you want to beat them." Unquote. We race against each other each and every week at multiple tracks. I would like every MADC member to realize that we are under the microscope more than the professional drivers when it comes to our behavior on the track as well as our safety during the race. You're damn right you are. Any member exhibiting unruly and disrespectful conduct to another driver of the MADC or the Meadowlands staff before, during, or after a race is cause for an immediate suspension by the club and will not be tolerated at all. Also, the NJRC. Just saying. Last night we had an inexcusable act take place on the racetrack. It is an absolute embarrassment to the MADC and the Meadowlands that anyone would be yelling and screaming at another driver on the track during, in capitals, a race, then continued after the wire. We as a club owe the Meadowlands an apology for that conduct during a race on their card, and I will handle that personally. We are watched on TV. The public is wagering on these races, and we owe it to the public of the Meadowlands who is allowing us to race at their venue to have the utmost respect for other drivers on the track. I expect the highest level of professionalism and decorum when we are on the grounds of the Meadowlands. No exceptions. That should be across the board, again. Not just the MADC, everyone. Right, Mr. Settlemore? Furthermore, during this unnecessary incident, a major safety violation was committed as well. Absolutely no driver is to ever have their body turned around in a race bike facing the top of the stretch. Like this. And just hilarious. That was the point I was trying to make to you people last night when I said, watch till the end. On a scale of 1 to 10 of danger, that is a 32 exclamation point. If a horse ever fell toward the wire and you're looking behind you instead of forward, you're jeopardizing your own life as well as the lives of everyone else in the race. The MADC will not let any one individual jeopardize the very existence of the MADC for an act of egregious as that. If we have a driver-induced accident, I fear the Meadowlands management would call off our races and say, sorry, this is too dangerous. Yeah! And you guys have had a lot of near misses, and we've all said it. Steer, think. Last week you had a guy driving through the pylons and his horse was jumping over them. We will not let any member risk that for the rest of us who are abiding by the rules and take safety of our sport seriously. Let this email serve as a warning for everyone. The MADC also reserves the right to remove any member from the active driving roster of the club if the board and safety committee. Who's the board and safety committee? This is where I, deem a driver too unsafe to compete with the rest of the amateurs. Sorry for all the capital letters throughout this email, but these items needed emphasizing. Thanks, everyone. Joe Lee. I mean, I think Joe is serious. I think he means it. But it's been allowed to get to this point. It's been allowed to become, like I said, they're using the racetrack as their playground. I'm hearing about egos, enemies. This one doesn't get along with that one. This one doesn't like what this one's doing. This one's got too much control when it comes over to seeding the races, blah, blah, blah. When it comes to that, not only are you jeopardizing yourselves, the horses, anyone else on the racetrack, the general public, these are wagering events. Even though the public, I think the public, because I think it's like watching NASCAR. Everybody's waiting for the bad to happen. And nobody wants to see that. But my point is, they are so unpredictable because of this. People do bet on them. But is it right? Nope. It's embarrassing. It's bad enough that to fill the cards, the Meadowlands Racetrack has to write anywhere from, when they're busy, they'll have 1 or 2, up to 5 or 6 MADC races in over 2 cards. It's ridiculous. We've never seen this before. So, let's just say it like this. It's a privilege, in my opinion. Okay? I'm no longer welcome there. I don't give a shit. Okay? Because when I went to them with serious issues, rather than handle the people who were causing the issue, they took it out on me. Now look what you got. That's just stupid. But it's a privilege to drive on that racetrack. Not for what the new Meadowlands is. I'm talking about what the old Meadowlands is and was. And the history of that racetrack and the people and horses who raced on that racetrack and created true harness racing history that nobody now respects anymore, apparently, at all. And it's a shame. So I'm just going to leave it at that. After this, I'm doing Fred Bourgault, testimony, day 3. And coming up Monday, closing arguments and possibly deliberation and a verdict. We'll see. Catch you later.